Can you share with me, Chloe? Sorry, just trying to get comfortable here. Oh, I didn't grab a drink either. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, hello. Hey, Julie. I'm running extremely late again tonight, but it's my guide's fault. You know, she takes forever to give me what I'm supposed to know here. I got a lot of new stuff I learned today about my guides and stuff. So, anyway. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. So I'm going to grab a blanket. I had the air on because it was stuffy in here. And, oh, wait a minute. I think my cat peed on that. Never mind. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Everybody's hopping off as fast as they're hopping on. Okay, so how was your day? I meant to text you earlier and I didn't get that far. Jamie, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Where are you from? Sorry, cat hair. I just gotta like get my mind right here. I go from like I have nothing going on in my life, like 1 second of the day, and then all of a sudden I have like 40 things going on at the same time, right? Like, do you ever just have like, there's never just a time where it's like, I just have a few, right? It's either all or nothing. It's like nothing or extreme. So it's like the guy that mentors me with my spiritual abilities, he texted me and I was just laying here resting. And he texted me and he always knows when I need him to text me, it seems. And so it's like he texts me and then I was like, well, are you busy? Are you at work? Can we call? Because we get on so many different topics and there's so many different things that I can talk to him about that a lot of other people don't understand if you don't have abilities. And so yeah, so it just ended up being like, what, an hour and a half call or something, you know? And meanwhile, my friend Jen's trying to call me and text me, you know, and then I'm getting other texts and it's like, you know, it's like I said, it's either all or nothing. There's never just like a happy stream. I have like no makeup left because I cried it all off earlier. Yeah, I cried it all off. I had a moment. Christine, thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. So you're just getting the bare me tonight. Like I said, some nights you get what you get. You get the authentic me. For sure. Thank you for that, Rose. I appreciate it very much. Where are you from? Jamie, thank you for the badge. Did you tell me where you're from? The best part? Howdy. Stay lovely. Okay, Casey Gardner, can you tell me where you're from? If you're just hopping on, tell me where you're from, who you are and where you're from. New York, welcome. Anna Maria, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Kentucky, welcome. Well, I'm Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Jamie from Missouri, welcome. Thank you for the badge. Christine, oh, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. From Texas, welcome. Thank you for the badge. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, guys. Well, I'm running really late. Sorry, I've just got cat hairs flying all over. I'm running really, really late tonight. I didn't grab a drink. I have a little bit left from last night. I guess that'll have to do. So I'm running late because I was on a phone call and then I'm like, okay, I don't have a topic. It's like 7:06 and I had to take my dog outside and feed the cats and all this lovely stuff I do before I get on live. And so finally, it was like, it just started to come to me finally. So anyway, so if you're new here, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. I'm kind of a hot mess tonight. I apologize. I started my TikTok in March of 2024. The reason I started my TikTok is because in September of 2023, my husband, for TikTok purposes, unalived himself. Sorry, I got a bump here. It's bugging me. And so that's when I discovered that I had abilities to talk to my guides, and they slowly breadcrumb me to my purpose. And that is to be here with all of you lovely people. My purpose in life now is to help others through their loss and trauma and to uplift others. And so that's why I'm here. So when I get on a live, they always give me a topic generally. Sometimes they give me a lot to talk about, and sometimes they just go, here's your topic, go on. They haven't done that in a while. They've been giving me more lately, but so tonight's topic, we're going to talk about seeing yourself clearly. And I always like to say, I am on my journey of life where I am, and you are in your journey of life where you are. And none of us are always going to agree on everything. And so you might hear things on here that maybe you don't agree with, and that's okay. I'm not here to persuade anybody, I'm just here to help wherever I can. And so I just ask we agree to disagree. And if you can't do that, you hop off and keep scrolling. I only have two other rules. One is to always be kind. And the second one is we talk absolutely no politics. It's not against one side or the other. It's just not at all what my page is about. So those are my rules. And like I said, tonight we're going to talk about seeing yourself clearly. We are not shy here. Pipe in anytime. I always believe the topic goes where the topic is supposed to go. And my page kind of runs off of comments. So if you comment and I'm not responding, sometimes I don't get the comments. I apologize up front. They like to censor my comments, even though I don't have any filters on. So all that being said, welcome. Like I said, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Okay, so I'm just going to get started. And like I said, feel free to pipe in anytime. You're never interrupting me. Sorry, I just threw my hair up because it's dirty again and it's bugging me. Sorry. Okay, so seeing yourself clearly. What is your purpose? That is what my guide said. And then I'm supposed to talk about, so I always thought that my purpose in life was being a wife and a mother, right? I got pregnant with my first child at 17. And so I hopped right into being a mother and a wife and doing all of that, right? My husband and I, if you're not familiar, we're together for 32 years. Thank you for all the likes, Julie. I appreciate you so much. And so, like I said, I kind of just settled into that role. I had all my kids by the time I was 23. And I just thought that was my purpose in life, apparently, is that I was supposed to be a mom and a wife. And a lot of times throughout the years, I just wasn't satisfied with that. And it wasn't that I didn't love being a wife to my kids. Hey, Joel, how are you? I did, I love my kids dearly, and my life revolved around them for 25 years, right? And same with my husband. I loved being a wife, and I took that role as a wife very seriously, and I jumped right into that role. But for some reason, thank you for the badge. You're good. I'm glad. Thank you for the badge, Joel. Appreciate that. And so I took those roles very seriously, and I just thought that was what I was supposed to do with my life, and that's where I was fulfilling my purpose. But sadly, through the years, I was just very frustrated and very unfulfilled, right? I would lay awake at night and I would cry, and my husband would say, "What is the matter?" And I would say, "I don't know. I just, it didn't matter where we lived. We lived in 20 different places and 20 some places in 20 some years, and we moved all over, and I loved change, and we loved doing that. And that was fine. That part of it was fine. But I just always felt like kind of the same thing like when I was a teenager, right? It's telling me I have an unstable connection. So if I skip or I can't help it, I apologize up front. I just still always never felt like I fit, right? I'm like, I just don't fit, and I felt unfulfilled, and there's more. I know that there's more out there for me, but I just didn't know what that was, right? I don't want to say your name wrong. Katrina? I don't know if I said that right. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Good evening. And I don't even want to try to say your name. Can you tell me your name and where you're from? And thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. And so, like I said, I just always felt like there was more, a different purpose. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit. Sorry, guys. I feel like that light glares in my glasses and it's distracting. And so I just felt like there was more for me. And like there was something else that I should be doing and that I wasn't doing, right? And so when my husband passed, which will be almost 2 years here in September, I deep dived into meditation and journaling to help through the loss, right? Because we were, like I said, we were together for 32 years. And those of you that don't know, that you're new here. And we'd never been apart longer than 2 weeks. I'd been with him since I was 16 years old. I didn't know an adult life without him. And it was like, I didn't know what I was going to do without him. And so once I had decided I was going to stay on this planet, I have to be careful what I say. By the way, we do talk about sensitive content here. So if you don't like that, just hop off and keep scrolling. Please don't report me. Some comments are filtered. See, they're filtering and I don't know why I have all my filters off. So if your comments aren't coming through, I'm really sorry. And so, sorry, hopefully I'm not going to lose my train of thought here. And so, I'm losing it. Give me a second. It'll come back to me. So I started to deep dive into meditation and into journaling, because I'm like, if I'm going to stay on this planet, I have to figure out how to heal myself, right? If you're new here, I'm the circle that don't fit in the square. I'm the unique girl. So I knew that group therapy was out for me. It wasn't going to work for me. And he didn't leave me in a great spot financially. And so therapy was also out. And so I'm like, okay, I have to figure out a way to heal myself. And so I started meditating, and that's when I started realizing that I had these abilities, that I could talk to my guides, and I was getting messages. And so I started slowly putting these messages out. And that's when I started asking the question, what is my purpose? You know, obviously my kids are grown now. My husband is now gone. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Right? And the more I focused on that, the less I was getting. And so finally one day I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to focus on that so much. And if I'm meant to know, it's going to come. And so my guides just slowly breadcrumbed me, and I would get these messages, and I was like, okay. And then I would get another message and another message and another message. And like I said, they just kind of breadcrumbed me for about a month and a half, 2 months. And then all of a sudden one day it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And so that's when I discovered, and the first message I ever got in meditation is, what heals you will heal others. And so I knew that it had something to do with that I would be helping other people. I just wasn't exactly sure what, right? And I promise I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. And so she said to me, so I was supposed to tell you that story of my purpose and being a mom and being unfulfilled. And then she said, so what is your calling? Are you going with what you're expected to do? Or are you seeing yourself clearly? Because that's the topic tonight, seeing yourself clearly. And for me, I wasn't seeing myself clearly. I had no clue who I was, right? I was Renee Borgelt. And I was the mother to my 3 kids and the wife of Daryl. And that's it. That's what I knew. I was not seeing myself clearly at all. I didn't love myself. I didn't know who I was. Because, like I said, I'd been with my husband since I was 16. I didn't know who I was. You know, I just, like I said, I jumped into motherhood. I jumped into being a wife. I didn't know, right? You're trying, LOL. That's good. How's it going, by the way? I apologize. I've been so bad about checking in with you. Thank you for the badge, Julie. I appreciate that too so much, and all the likes. So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee, and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. And so, are you seeing yourself clearly? She said. How can we fulfill a purpose if we're not seeing ourselves clearly? And right there, you know, that is so true, because I didn't even know who I was. I wasn't seeing myself clearly. I didn't know who I was. So how could I have ever known that longing and that purpose that I felt? How did I ever know what that was supposed to be when I didn't even know who I was or who I was supposed to be, right? Stressed? Sorry. Struggling? I'm sorry. Well, we need to talk. Let's get a time set up. What's up? Ray, free of all of the homies. Okay. Not sure what that means, but tell me who you are and where you're from. And so recognizing our abilities and giving ourselves credit is another thing she said, right? Where credit is due. And there again, I struggle, right? I am still learning to give myself credit where credit is due, right? I am a medium now, and I have abilities to help people, hopefully to give them reassurance from the other side, and, just put their mind at ease that they're where their loved ones are and that they're okay. And sometimes, I still don't give myself credit, right? Hi, I'm from East Seattle, Washington, and the homies for all the people locked up. What does that mean? If it's political, we don't talk anything politics here. It's not against one side or the other, just not what my page is about. And if that is the case, that's your only warning, because otherwise I will block you. I apologize ahead of time. That's just not what we talk about here. We talk about feelings and grief and loss and trauma and just learning to better ourselves, right? If that's not what you're talking about, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. But welcome. It's homies, not politics. Okay. So who are your homies that you're referring to? It's just curious. Are you talking about people that maybe you were locked up with at one time? Can you elaborate for me so I at least know where you're going with that? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anyway, okay. All right. So like I said, recognizing our abilities. And that's a really good start, right? What abilities do you have, and giving yourself credit. So if you are wanting to know what your purpose is or trying to figure out the path to your purpose, that's a really good start, right? What are your abilities? What are you good at, right? Sometimes it requires mental work first, right? For me, it required going down through some trauma and doing some shadow work and figuring out who was I, right? Like I said, sorry, my dog's been sneezing a lot lately. Oh, okay. And so I couldn't hop right to that purpose until I went back and kind of did some shadow work and some mental work going, okay, who am I, right? Who am I as a person? Because I couldn't see myself clearly, right? What we're talking about tonight. If you can't see yourself clearly, then how can you move forward with your purpose if you don't know who you are, right? Or what your abilities are. Are you stopping yourself by putting limitations on yourself, right? Oh, I can't do that. Maybe you know your abilities. Maybe there's things that you have a passion for. Hold on. Boo, lay down. Bentley, lay down. I just don't want him to knock my tripod over. Have no clue what you just said, but thank you for the follow and thank you for the badge. Let me see if I missed somebody else. Sorry, it's kind of going fast now. All right. And so are you putting limitations on yourself? Oh, well, I'm really good at that, but nobody would want to listen to me, right? Like when my guide said you need to get online and do this, what I'm doing now, and didn't even start out doing lives at all. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. I didn't start out doing lives. I didn't start lives until last July. So it's been about a year ago. I was just putting out videos, right? And I'm like thinking, who's going to follow little old me from South Dakota, right? Like who wants to listen to what I have to say? Maybe I'll get 500 followers, right? And now I have and I'm not saying this to brag, but I have 14,000 people across all my platforms, and I'm going, whoa, right? But there again, realizing and not selling myself short, right? You translated it. He said, can we keep an eye on each other? Well, I think that's a great idea. Thanks for that. Hi there from East Tennessee. Joe, were you on here the other night, Joe? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. South Dakota, wow. Is that a good wow or a bad wow? So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. And so there again, so like I said, not putting limitations on ourselves, exploring with curiosity and not judging, maybe exploring things that we like to do and some of our abilities, but not judging them, right? Just exploring them with open mind and not judging ourselves or putting limitations on ourselves. Maybe that is a possibility. Maybe I want to be a writer, and I should say it this way. Maybe you want to be a writer and not putting limitations on yourself. Well, I only have a 12th grade education, or I'm not a good writer or a good speller, so I can't write a book. That's putting limitations on yourself, right? There's people out there to proofread it. I'm not the best speller. That's what computers are for, right? Computers have spell check, and I suck at punctuation, right? But that's what I have a friend who has a master's degree for, right? There's ways around all of those things. So don't put limitations on yourself, right? ChatGPT will write the book for you. Probably would. Yes, you're correct. Yes. Okay. I thought you were. Okay. So there again. So if you're just hopping on, we're talking about seeing yourself clearly tonight, right? What is your purpose? And figuring out what is your purpose in life and seeing yourself clearly without the expectations, without the limitations, and without the judgment, right? Let's see. Recognizing when you need a new life skill for finding your joy, right? So maybe in my case, I do a lot of spiritual stuff, and eventually, I have a lot of plans down the road and goals, and I would like to learn how to do Reiki and implement Reiki into all of the stuff that I'm going to do, right? So that's a new life skill that I know that I need to pick up or want to pick up that's going to kind of go along with what I'm doing, right? So recognizing that, what is a skill? Maybe take a writing class if you want to be a writer and you're not sure where to start or where to begin. Find a mentor, take a writing class. You know what I'm saying? There's ways around it. Don't set limitations on yourself. You want to test out video games? Then find a person that makes video games, and tell them you want to be a tester. What's the worst that can happen? They tell you no? I'm just throwing things out there, right? The worst thing you could do is put a limitation on yourself and go, well, nobody would want me. Why would they want me? I ain't got no skills. I've never done that before. So, become an expert in video games and, build up your credentials and go to the video game makers and say, look, and whatever it is, but don't limit yourself. Don't put limitations. Don't judge yourself. Just do it, right? My guides tell me that all the time. Just do it. So, okay, let me flip. Let's see here. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Asking yourself, what gifts do you have to share? Like we talked about, what are your abilities? What are your gifts? I am a medium. I believe that is a gift from source, God, universe, whatever it is you call it, right? I believe that is a gift, and I'm trying to use that gift to help others, right? To help them maybe heal their hearts because somebody crossed over and, they're not at ease, or to let somebody know that their loved one is okay, whatever it may be. But that is a gift of mine that I'm trying to use, right? Somehow, some way, shape, or form, I have this knowledge, and my guides give me this knowledge, and they tell me that I have some of this knowledge from past lives, and I know a lot of people don't believe in that. So like I said at the very beginning, if you missed it, I am on my journey where I am, and you are where you are, and not all of us are going to agree, and so we just agree to disagree here. So if you don't believe in that, that's fine. I'm not forcing that on anybody. I'm just saying that they tell me it's from things that I've learned from past lives. So I'm just passing on that information to you guys, right? So using your abilities and using your gifts that you have and sharing them with people, right? Maybe you write, like my friend writes beautiful poems, right? Put them in a book and share them with the world, because how do you know that one day somebody's having a bad day and they read your poem and it doesn't save their life, right? Sharing your gifts. The universe, God, source, whatever it is you believe in, give you those gifts for a reason, because maybe, like I just said, maybe one of your poems saves somebody's life one day. Maybe somebody watches one of my videos and, you know, they're at the lowest they've ever felt in their life, and they realize that they're not alone, and it helps them to bounce back. That's what it's all about, right? You being happy, finding the joy in what you are here meant to do, and then also helping others, right? So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. So if you do have these gifts or abilities, why are you not sharing them, right? That's what my guide said. Why are you not sharing them? What is stopping you? Only you know the answer to that. Only you know the answer. So hopefully I helped everybody tonight. Does anybody else have anything they want to add or share to that? Anybody? I don't know if I'm not getting comments tonight or hardly anybody's commenting. It could be either or. That's all I have for everybody. I'm going to talk about real quick. If you got anything else you want to add, any questions, throw them in the chat. If you're new here and you're not familiar, I am a medium and I have a YouTube channel. It's called Scorpio Medium. And so if you're not a subscriber over there, I would love it if you went over there and subscribed. You'll see all the videos that I upload here over there. The only difference is when I do a live, those get uploaded over there. So if you want to catch a live and you missed it, you can sneak over there and catch it. You're here and listening? Okay. Hey, Jen, did I tell you that? I'm not sure if I even said that. I'm sorry. It's been one of those days. Oh, I'm so sorry, Julie. I totally can relate. Totally can relate to that. Like I said, I am also a medium. So if you are interested in a reading with somebody who has crossed over, you can go down into my bio here or my bio over in Scorpio Medium and find my email address there. And you can email me if you'd like to set up a reading with a loved one who's crossed over. Okay, good. I'm glad, Jen. And I go live here Sunday through Wednesday between 7 and 8 o'clock Mountain Time, usually about 7:15, 7:17, because I love angel numbers. Tonight it was after 7:30. My guide was kind of dragging her feet a little bit. By the way, I got a new guide. I discovered that today. I have a new guide. I have 4, and the 4th one just came on board. I just discovered that today. And that's the guide that gave us the topic for tonight. And so, yeah. Starting on Thursday, you'll want to join us over on Scorpio Medium. So if you're not a subscriber over there, you want to hop over there because we're going to start Real Talk with Renee and my friend Jen. And we've got some really good topics to start out with. That'll be about 7:15-ish on Scorpio Medium on Thursday nights. So don't miss out on that. And then last but not least, if you enjoy my content and you would like to help me continue to make my content and you would like to donate to my channel, my Venmo is down below in my bio. And any of that would be greatly appreciated. I never ask anybody to donate. If you can't, you can't. I get it. But if you do enjoy my content and you would like to donate to my channel, that is available down in my bio also. Let's see. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody else have anything else they want to add? Any comments, questions? Hopefully y'all got something out of that tonight. Thank you for the follow. Is it Adisa? I don't want to say that wrong. I hate it when I slaughter people's names. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. And all the hearts, Julie. I never forget you. I know you're there. Okay, good. I'm glad. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I don't have anything else. If nobody else has anything, going once. Going twice. All right. Well, then I hope y'all have a great night. Remember to have a great day tomorrow because it is a choice. And on that note, I'm going to say until we meet again tomorrow night.